All right, let's talk about not getting bulky. I know this is a big one that comes up a lot when, especially the ladies want to train and want to get toned, but don't want to get bulky. So, we're going to talk about exactly how not to do that and get the results that you want. So, let's start it off with what most people tend to think lifting heavy weights is going to lead to. Okay. If you're not watching on YouTube, basically, I have Olympia figure competitor right here. So, the most jacked, lean physique that a woman could possibly do. And usually, due to anabolic steroids, it's usually not natural, but these people usually have incredible genes as well. So when it comes to this type of physique that people do tend to fear that they're going to look like, just so everybody knows what that requires to get stage level huge, okay, it requires you to eat perfect macros 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, bringing your own meals to restaurants, avoiding social situations, sleeping 8 to 9 hours a night, not having a huge stress load because they have somebody else take care of their kids, or they have some sort of way to reduce stress that normal people just do not implement. Okay. Working out hard 5 to 6, sometimes 7 days a week, and the help of anabolic steroids. But luckily, the average person doesn't weigh food properly to begin with. So they're not even tracking accurately, let alone having the perfect macros. Okay. Most people don't sleep super long or deep. Like, even if they do have a nightcap that like allows them to knock out, their sleep is usually trash as far as quality is concerned, because that's what alcohol does. And these sleep medications, like, they don't guarantee deep sleep, they just guarantee to knock you out. So that's why when you wake up, you're still in a fog, you still feel pretty lousy because of that. Most people barely manage a workout or two a week, if any. And a lot of people don't justify the cost of spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, for steroids. So, what causes most people to get bulky is not having any concept of calories being consumed. They think that they're eating well, but they really have no idea how many calories are actually going in. Even if they're eating all healthy foods, it's still very possible to gain body fat eating healthy foods. It's harder, but it's possible. Poor sleep. When people, we're going to get more into this, but basically, when people sleep like shit, they eat like shit, which leads to gaining unwanted body fat and getting bulky. Little, if any, activity and zero stress management skills. So let's go through each one and go through how exactly you can fix it. Now, when it comes to calories, they're the name of the game. When it comes to bulkiness, you're not going to get bulky if you're not providing your body some reason to get bulky, which is a surplus of calories. Okay. So if you are ingesting a calorie surplus day after day, that will lead to fat gain. But if you get your calories in check and you are able to put them in the right spot and strength train and do everything, you will burn the most fat possible in a calorie deficit if strength training is still in the mix. All right. And some common culprits when it comes to this are, like, when it comes to driving up the calories throughout the week, are usually drinking more than 1 to 2 times a week, ordering takeout more than once a week, and relying a lot on snacks, because breakfast and lunch are pigeon portions, which really makes you feel like you're hungry all day. So what do you do about it? Okay. Track calories for at least 7 days in a row. That is a full 7 days, not Monday through Thursday and then kind of on Friday, not at all on Saturday, and then just saying screw it on Sunday, which is a rhythm a lot of people find themselves in. Track every single day and then take the average of the week, and that's where you're at. Okay. And doing that week after week gives you a really, really good idea. So don't just do it on a good week and say, oh, I'm doing everything right, when most weeks are not like that. And then have some sort of meal structure. So having a consistent meal structure where you have, say, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a couple of snacks is going to be better than skipping a meal on Monday, having three on Tuesday, having one meal because it was super busy at work on Wednesday, and then on the weekend you don't eat any breakfast because you just decide to sleep in. Because what that does is it will make you hungrier, even though you are eating just as many, if not more, calories, because your body is out of sync. It is not in a rhythm. And when it's expecting calories, it's not getting them. So getting into a consistent rhythm helps a lot. Then, when it comes to sleep, just so we all know, lack of sleep leads to poor food decisions the next day because your judgment center of your brain is fried. You're actually less satiated when you eat food because, again, that part of the brain that senses, hey, I'm tasting something, I'm getting the sensation of feeling full is affected. So you're not getting full on the same amount of foods due to sleep. And your cravings are usually more intense, whether that's due to increased hunger because you're not as full, or it's just one of those things that sets you off and makes you feel like crap. And when we feel like crap, we eat like crap. And when we eat like crap, we get bulky. All right. So, some common culprits when it comes to sleep are kids, pets, and special time with our significant other. Sometimes it's just that end of the day time where it's like, listen, I have like 1, 2 hours with my significant other. We're taking care of the kids all day. I get it. And if you want to make that trade, that's totally up to you. No judgments here. Okay. But what you can do is number one, focus on bedtime rather than wake time. A lot of people, it doesn't serve them very well to wake up extra early because they would do better with more sleep. So it's better to bank on an extra hour or two in the beginning, like at nighttime, rather than the end when they wake up. If you can sacrifice one episode, like if you are in a rhythm where you are watching 3, 4, 5 episodes of a show per night, just chop off one if you can and take that extra time to get that extra 30 minutes, because even though it might not feel significant, if you're able to do that, it's going to be better than if you don't. And last but not least is adjust expectations. If you want to make that trade off and you want to sacrifice sleep so that you can have enough time with your significant other, then that's totally fine. But don't have these grand expectations of having some amazing physique and burning a bunch of body fat when you're not able to sleep because of all the reasons that I just listed. And also be aware that that next day, if you're going to do that, you're going to be hungrier, you're going to feel less full, and you're going to have to fight like hell to not eat too much food. And that is the trade off if we're being totally brutally honest. Now, that's up to you whether you want to make that trade or not. There's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you want. All right. Next is no activity. So, when you don't exercise in any way, shape, or form, it makes it harder to lose weight because the amount of calories that you would need to consume when you're not exercising are so low that they're usually not sustainable. And people just can't eat that little day after day after day and not feel like absolute crap and eventually get burnt out. Okay. Another thing, it can cause issues with sleep. So, it's like a horrible tornado of a lot of things going on. So if you don't exercise, it's harder to knock out at night. But when you do exercise and you are able to knock out, it feels like you get the best sleep you've had in years. If all of a sudden you haven't exercised in, say, like 10 years and you do that first one, you sleep like a baby sometimes. And it also affects mood regulation. So if you're stressed out, if you're flipping your lid on every single person and you're just like on 10 all day, you're more prone to eating things that are not great. And some common culprits when it comes to this are: one, no control of your calendar; two, being too tired; and three, not being motivated. So what is the fix? Okay, number one, get a Google Calendar, like a or a physical one, and make sure that you have your day blocked out, because a lot of people say, oh, I just don't have the time. But in reality, they just have a giant list of things in their head that they need to get done. And that automatically means to them, I have time for nothing, even though they have no concept of how long certain things are going to take and how that looks relative to the entire day. So if you put it all down and say, hey, this task is going to take me 20 minutes, this task is going to take me about an hour, and you put it all down, you find these little windows of time. And during those windows of time, you may be able to squeeze in a workout, or you might be able to squeeze in a walk or something where you can get some sort of activity. Okay. Next is the good old saying, I'm too tired to exercise, so I exercise so I'm not tired. Sometimes you just got to give yourself a kick in the ass, because right now you're tired because you're not moving. But if you can force that first workout or two, which will lead to better sleep, which will lead to more energy, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. So sometimes you just got to force it and make yourself do it that first 1 or 2 times. And then last but not least is relying on daily structure and habit stacking, not motivation. Okay. If you want to say I'm not motivated and that's why I don't work out, you're going to be saying that for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Clearly, motivation isn't doing the job. Okay. Motivation sucks. Motivation is flaky. Motivation will leave you high and dry. It does not do the job. Okay. There needs to be some sort of daily structure. There needs to be a habit that you stack it with. So, for example, Let's say that on your way back from work, you pass by the gym. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to hit the gym every time that I pass it on the way back from work, or once or twice a week on the days that are a little bit lighter with the schedule, because you now have control of your calendar and know exactly what you need to do. Okay. So you can do that. Or say that when it comes to like cooking dinner, you have, say, 30 minutes to cook dinner before Johnny's got to go to a soccer game or whatever. Put something in and do set it and forget it, like oven recipes, air fryer recipes, anything like that, where you could just put it all together, throw it in the oven for 20, 30 minutes. And during that 20 or 30 minutes, get some sort of a circuit style workout in at home. So if you have dumbbells at home or want to invest in some so you can do this, great. And in the ultimate guide to get fit over 40, if you guys click in the show notes in the description, there's the toned in 20 workouts. There are 20 workouts that you can do in 20 minutes or less. Those are more than okay, especially if you're doing nothing. It'll lead to incredible results compared to doing absolutely nothing. Okay. So there's a lot that you could do with that. And then last but not least is stress management. When we're stressed, we're more likely to emotionally eat, not exercise, and have trouble sleeping. And the common culprits are usually social media and the news, toxic friends and family, and work. So what you can do for that is, one, reduce consumption of social media and news. So if you're going to look at it, do it early in the day, like have it part of the morning routine. It's not a great way to start the day, I'll be totally honest. Like, and most of the news that you get is so biased and it's more opinion than news that it's not even worth looking at. And I can tell you, as somebody who has actively avoided news outlets for the past like 10 years, you find out about the important stuff and you feel a lot better because you're not being inundated with fear and stress and anxiety every single day. And then when it comes to social media, if you want to take a look at it once or twice in the morning and during lunch, great. But around bedtime, it's a really easy way to get sucked into an hour or two of doom scrolling and then having trouble falling asleep. So cutting it off in the afternoon and nighttime can be a huge, huge help, and it will reduce the anxiety and stress that you experience throughout the day. Next is implementing boundaries with friends or family. So if you have these friends and family that just love to call you up or to talk your ear off and emotionally dump their entire day on you, not vent, because venting is warranted sometimes, but they just unload on you and you feel like you're taking all of it. Okay, that's not productive. That's not helpful. You're not getting anything out of that, and they're hurting you in the process because they're jeopardizing your mental health because they just want to get it out of their system. All right. So having some boundaries up, like, listen, I'd love to talk about this, but I can't do it past this certain time, or like just nonchalantly cutting off the communication here and there. Like, if you have that one friend that you really don't like hanging out with, like you kind of gradually just like talk to them less and less and less, and you can kind of wean them away. So there's a lot of things you could do with that, but having some sort of boundaries helps a ton. Okay. Just having that conversation, like, listen, I love you, but I can't do this right now. Save it for tomorrow. I'll be all ears. Just, I can't do this right now. And I hope that you respect that. And if they don't, and they want to just unload, 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 and they take it personally, then they're just using you at that point. They're not actually like a friend or like, not saying they're not family, but I mean, like, what's their goal out of this other than to make you feel as shitty as they do? Anyway, I digress. Next is having hard conversations at work if necessary. Honestly, a lot of times there are situations where everyone in the company is just collectively drowning and collectively stressed to the point where your bosses and like people higher up don't understand how much stress you're under because they are so stressed. So honestly, sometimes you can just have a conversation and be like, this, listen, this is a lot. Like, I'm taking on this much, this much. I have zero time to take care of myself and I can't show up at work how I need to and all that. And if you have a good boss, they'll probably understand and be like, oh shit, I didn't even realize. Well, why don't we divert this over here, that over there, if it's possible. Now, if you're in a situation where it's not, then it's like, that's tough. But, and it might be time to put in some job applications elsewhere just to see if anything is possible that you could find a better situation. And if you're hourly, then it's like you can't really do much about that. And you got to kind of make the trade off based on your own personal happiness and what your income needs to be and what you're willing to do. So, I mean, that's a tough one as well. But having a conversation can help as long as it's done in the right way. And it's coming from a place of, I want to give more to the company, but I'm so stretched thin at this point that I can't even do my job that well. All right. So that's it for today. I hope that you got a lot out of it. I hope that you don't fear the bulk anymore. And if you want other daily tips and good information and a supportive community, get your butt in the Fit 40 family. It's a free Facebook group for moms 40 plus where we do daily tips, monthly challenges. We're running a cravings challenge today. So if you heard that bit about not being able to sleep and your cravings being through the roof and you're like, that's me. Okay. This would have been a great challenge to jump on. And if you heard all this and you're like, all right, I got to fix this stuff ASAP. I don't want to like tiptoe around this. I just want to get this figured out so I can get on with my life. That's what Fit 40 online coaching is for. It's the accountability that you need to do the damn thing, not to just listen to another 20 podcasts and do absolutely nothing. So if you want to put some action behind it and you're not currently doing that right now, then definitely check out the Kickstart info down below. Just click in the description or the show notes. It's all right there. Give it a look, set up a call with me, and we'll see if it's right for you. So if it is, awesome. If it's not, I'm more than happy to send you to a lot of friends that I have in the fitness industry that are also really good at what they do. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way through. Until next time, go kick some ass. I will see you later.